Good morning. This is John Harder addressing the Billion Coin community with another hangout, or should I say live broadcast, spreading the wealth of the Billion Coin and free energy. Yesterday, I had prepared a live broadcast that I wanted to do today. And as the day went towards the evening, and I was in communication with two of my brothers, and I thought they were going to be on this morning, and I changed my plans for the hangout because I was really happy to introduce them to those who would be joining me this morning. And right now, I am not sure where we're at with all that. So I'm going to default back to the Hangout or the original plans that I had for my broadcast for this morning. And so I'll postpone what I was going to do this morning until another time, for a time when they do join my hangout. All right, so there are amazing things happening in the world today. I've been following the a lot of what has been going on in the world, as I also know that many of you who are in TBC, especially those of you who keep up to date with the blog, who study the blog, as it were, to know what's going on with TBC, what's going on in the world. How does TBC relate to what's going on in the world? And why is the world the way it is? And why was TBC created? And what is TBC solving in the world? So these are some of the things that I want to look at this morning. Now, those of you who have been following the blog, who have been going through the information, then you are quite aware of the pedophilia that's been going on, and still is, but it has hugely been minimized. Folks, this giant is coming down. This dragon is being slain. For those of you who aren't really in tune with how did the world become the way it was, well, time would not nearly allow me to really go into much detail. But basically, on a, should we say, just a very, very brief overview, for thousands of years, there has been a specific bloodline of families who have been manipulating and lying and killing and stealing, creating wars, creating enmity between people, between races, between almost every crime, every difficulty that we face in the world is the underlying cause is the deep state. which has been recruited by this family. Now, let's go back just and see where did they gain all this power. You see, back in when banking first came about in Europe, America hadn't been. I'm not going to say that America hadn't been discovered. It was discovered. I know the books in the schools. In schools, students are being taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. He didn't discover anything. He came here to. He was sent here by the British, who at the time basically already had most of the world under their control. Of course, using Rome. If we go back far enough, those of you who are Bible readers and who know that that Rome was at one time basically the hub that ruled the world, the what they call then known world, which also is actually not true, but this is the type of history that has been fed to people. And so what we are being told, and when we're not really exposed to any alternatives, then I think for the most part, that is what becomes part of our belief system. However, this this family in the before World War I, if you do some research in history, there was a huge thing that Venice was used. It was actually created for a specific purpose, and I'm not going to go into the details at this in this broadcast, but there was a Venetian group that was very vicious, very viciously killing people and taking control of gaining ground in that way, and taking, just stealing, just robbing people and of gold and so on. Well, this gold robbing has been going on a much larger scale later on. But suffice it to say here that the same people caused the First World War. And that made them stronger. And they also then caused the Second World War. This was all predicted already way ahead of time, because these were plans that had been laid out many years before. Because there were people, this specific bloodline that I'm talking about, they were actually a bloodline of ancient Jews, and they had it all planned out how eventually they would completely dominate the entire population in the world. And this they have been working on to fulfill. Now, for those of you who are Bible students, who are Bible readers, you likely are aware of the book of Revelation in the Bible. This book basically is their script that they are planning to fulfill, or have been planning to fulfill for many years. And that script is, as it talks about this beast rising out of the sea, the beast rising out of the earth, the 666, you know, the mark on the mark of the beast, and all of these things. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, this is a very, very brief overview because there is very much to details that are missing here that would fill in all of those questions that you right now have because of what I have been saying. Because those of you who are Bible readers, you are convinced that these are ancient prophecies that that are prophesied by God, as it were, and have to be fulfilled. Folks, this has nothing to do with God. The same book that the Bible that we read, that talks about you know, where this book is in, also talks about freedom and peace and prosperity and how we can live a prosperous life and all of that. Folks, there is much good in this book. But let me just give you a bit of information here right now that would help you at least I hope that would help you to understand a little bit more, the to link to the fact that some of the books in the Bible are scripts that are not in there for our good. Okay? Because the Bible, when it was put into print form, into book form, there was a very huge amount of editing was being done to this book to make sure that it was going to be confusing to people, that we would not understand, that we would not you know, understand how our mind works, because the power of life is in our mind, in connecting our mental capacity with the power of the Creator. Folks, this is very powerful stuff. When you understand how your thoughts are the seeds, your thoughts are the seeds of your future. Your thoughts enforced with words is the sprouting of the seeds that builds your future. And if you have a good seed bed, the seed bed of your subconscious mind, and you plant good seeds and you water them by repeatedly thinking and saying the things of success and the things of life and joy and peace and the liberty in life and your passion for helping people, folks, those are seeds for a future that you're truly going to enjoy. That is truly going to be a life of blessing and joy and peace. Now, how did all this come about? As I mentioned, it was always lies and manipulation, turn people against each other, turn races against each other, countries against each other. And you see, as you will notice also, let me just inject this here as well. You always notice that there is a splitting. What do I mean by that? North Korea, South Korea, North Carolina, South Carolina, North this and North that, always splitting. Folks, the idea behind all that is that of splitting the polarity. A magnet has north and south. This is the reason. This is a as you know, these Satan worshippers, these satanic people, they have this idea that in splitting north to south, everywhere, that it's a splitting of polarity, which will create confusion and for people, and also uh, enmity. This is why it has to do with the same thing as I was talking about, how they turn countries against each other. They'll do false flag attacks like 9/11, an inside job, and then blame somebody out there, folks. And this is what they are teaching us, that if you do a transaction, if you buy something, and somebody sold you, you know should I say, they said something about a product, they were telling you how good it was and stuff, you end up buying it, and and then you and then you you take it home, and you end up, oh well, this isn't nearly what I thought it was. Well, you can go back and demand your money back, uh, and then they have to give you your money back, folks. Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute, back up, back up. Why why uh, is why is this like that? You see, we have we have to take responsibility. When somebody sells you smoke and mirrors, if you are in tune with the energy, with the creative forces of the universe, as it were, in other words, the creator, when you are in tune with the vibrations, with the energy, the creative energy, you will know if a person is selling you smoke and mirrors. You're not going to be buying into that kind of stuff, because you will understand, you will feel the vibration. Your vibration you'll be able to tell that this person is selling you smoke, and you're not going to buy. What am I saying, folks? If you've been robbed, if you discover that you've been robbed, here's the truth: you have first robbed yourself before anyone else can rob you. It cannot happen. You cannot be robbed unless you have already robbed from yourself. What does that tell us about ourselves? That tells us that we have a very serious lack of proper teaching. The education that we have been exposed to, the vibrations that we've been exposed to in our growing up years, and in all of everything that we've done in life, we have been made to think that the enemy is out there, that the confusion is out there. Me, I'm smart. I know. I understand. I know everything. But out there, that person, it's his fault. And as long as we live like that, we will be broke, we will be confused, and we will have no idea what's going on. When we get sick, oh well, that's because of something out there. That's why I'm getting sick. Folks, no. If you get sick, then you do so because your mind is sick. If you get cancer, you do so because you have cancer in your mind. If you get robbed, that means you have robbed, and you got robbed in your mind. You robbed yourself. Folks, everything that comes into your life, you created. You created. In the beginning, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, the mind and the body. Every time a baby is born, God has created heaven and earth. Heaven is the mind where everything is planned. Heaven is the mind where all the beautiful pictures of the wonderful life is being planned. And when it's connected with the energies of the universe, folks, that's a glorious life. That is a life of prosperity, peace, and confidence and joy. But when that is confused, Jesus said it this way. He talked about a light that is in you, but he said, if that light is darkness, how great is that darkness? How great is that darkness? Well, folks, we have been made to believe, we have been led to believe that that's the norm, that that's the normal way of life, that it's, we just live in a confused world. We work as hard as we can to barely get by and pay all your taxes and so that you can do all of it tomorrow again. Folks, that's not truth. That's not truth. Truth is life. Truth is joy. Truth is prosperity. Truth is enjoying life. Let's see, why was TBC created? Why was TBC created? You see, the creator of TBC, he knew the way this world was going. He had an understanding of what was going on in the world. And he knew that in order to crush that pyramid, or should we say crumble that pyramid, the underlying power had to be taken out, which is the workforce that supports the whole thing by paying all those taxes and all those other extortions that we face. And he knew that if the money system, which they control, would be replaced with one that is controlled by the people, then that would all crumble. Now, I would say this right at this point, because I believe it fits, that there was, this tuning in. There were more people than just the owner of TBC, I believe, that were tuned into that energy. And I believe it's by divine order that Trump was elected when he was. Because the way it is right now here in Canada, it is not easy to spread TBC because the population has, what I found out in my research? That Canada, the people of Canada are the second most devoted people to their government. Of all the world's governments, the Canadian people are the second most devoted. And the truth is, we don't even have a government. So who are they devoted to? Who are we paying our taxes to? We don't even legally have a government here at all. And you know what? I'll just venture out and say this, that it wouldn't surprise me in the least if the country that is the most devoted, where the people are the most devoted to their government, which is India, that it's probably the same thing. It's probably just smoke and mirrors too. Folks, these leaders, they have totally bought into what the, I don't know, the powers that shouldn't be, what they have been trying to force every country to live up to. And so what they have done is they've taken control of the education system as well. And this is what has been deceiving the people so much, that and the media, of course. So TBC is a tremendous tool. With it, we will replace the economy, the entire global economy. The way it is now is a layer of smoke and mirrors you know, a false, tax-based, laws-based, regulations-based economy that makes it almost impossible for people to prosper. But we're replacing that. We're coming up. We're emerging a new economy with TBC, which is controlled not by any central banks. Matter of fact, once TBC reaches its full price, it will go back to a completely decentralized system, which can't be controlled by anyone or manipulated. This money, if you do the math on how big TBC will be, it is plenty big enough for a monetary supply for the entire global system. Plenty big enough. And in it, we're going to be launching many, many, many platforms that are going to fill so many bridges in between the marketplace and TBC. This is going to happen. People will see those opportunities everywhere. Let me just differentiate for you here why TBC is not in the exchanges like all the other coins are. Listen, the powers that shouldn't be, they have, in controlling the banking system, they hate this idea of having currencies out there that they cannot control. And of course, there were some people that were very smart. Don't get me wrong here. They were very smart and created bridges quickly, these exchanges to link Bitcoin with, to a way to buy it, to exchange and with the fiat money system and so on. But folks, doing so gives the banksters the hooks. Not only that, but the exchanges are also poverty-based. They are based on a poverty mindset. What are we saying by that? Listen, when an exchange or when a new coin launches and it comes on the exchange, it is pennies on a dollar. People who have quite a bit of money, they can go and they can buy a whole bunch. And when it goes up, they can sell. And so what they do is some of these people that buy a lot and it really goes up. Other people buy and it goes up and up and up. Well, eventually the buyers pretty much stop and it sort of stops going up. That's when some of the biggest buyers, some of the first buyers sell. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Of course, now it's time. And then other ones also sell because now they see that it's starting to go down. And so people quickly sell. And what happens when you do that? It goes way down. The latest buyers are the losers. The latest buyers are the losers. And folks, that is complete manipulation. This is what these banksters have been doing for all those years. And those platforms, they're working the same way. This is why TBC cannot be in an exchange. This is why we cannot link it like that, because that is not abundance-based. TBC is an abundance-based money system. I'm not going to just call it currency because TBC is way more than just currency. It is an abundance-based money, plenty of it, created to lift humanity out of poverty. In doing so, and folks, I am super excited. I want to say right here, a huge congratulations to Stephen Coffey. If you're here, I'm telling you, I am excited for you. I'm truly excited for you. Congratulations. Because I've been looking at this many times, And I'm saying, man, you know, going to some of these countries, there is so much we can do there because these people are poor and they don't understand it. They first of all don't understand the world they're living in. They don't understand anything except the poverty that they are experiencing, and they do not see the abundance that they are surrounded with. There is a life force of abundance that is so huge. All we have to do is tune in. But when we don't understand, we need someone to teach us. And now that admin is doing this, I am so excited for all of you guys. Uh, to be honest, I hope that I get to go on one of those, on some of those too, um, because that excites me for you guys, and not just for you, but for what you're going to accomplish. This is huge. This is really huge. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what TBC is truly stepping out to do. That's it's huge. And I also believe that there are some more things that are coming up in the near future after migration that are going to very quantum leaps ahead. Folks, it's only going to be a few years, or I don't know. I would venture to say that within 2 years we will have we will have our billion people. But folks, we also will need very many platforms. We will need many bridges built to suit the marketplace for, with TBC. But of course, I think there's also connections coming that are going to already bridge that gap in the in the near future after migration, because yeah, because I believe what is coming. So with that said, are Pete and Jake on?
No, they had to create a channel, I guess. They didn't have a channel.
All right. Yes. Okay.
You want to see who's on?
Yeah. Yeah. Folks, when I started this broadcast, I mentioned that things were different than what I had planned, and this was because I had two of my brothers. I thought they were going to be on, but I guess they didn't get their channel set up. Um, Now, for those of you, for me, this is a real milestone to be able to bring two of my brothers on. But I do have I have seven brothers. It would be extremely exciting to have all of them. So for some reason, on my computer, the chat didn't come up today, which made me a little bit later because I was trying to make it work, but it just wasn't coming up. So well, my wife was moderating for me. She could tell who was on, but I didn't. And so she just brought me her computer here now so I could see. Yes, that's right, Lucy Brown. I have 7 brothers, but I also have 8 sisters.
I have one brother.
So yeah, these my 2 brothers. They're both truck drivers, and so they're going to be doing their hangouts from in their truck and while they're driving. So hopefully that'll work, because they really want to do these hangouts as well, or these, I'm calling them hangouts, I mean these broadcasts. And woozers, not TV. Somebody says woozers, not TV. Yeah. Yeah, it WOOZERS. Woozers. Yeah, so my 2 brothers, they will likely be on tomorrow. Then I was trying to get them in tomorrow's send button meeting, but we'll see if that works out. You know,
Tomorrow Sunday.
sorry.
Tomorrow Sunday.
Oh yeah, Monday. So by Monday, I hope that everything will work so that they can be on in the send button meeting, and then and hopefully before Monday, I will also have I'll also be doing a kind of a one-on-one with them to you know, maybe bring them on first with me so that I can get them familiar with it, because both of them are they're not savvy in these kind of things. They are very, very illiterate when it comes to computers. Right. So so those are oops, huh? Pete and Nancy are?
Yeah, I don't know if Jake is or not.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so they're not really familiar with this kind of stuff, so I hope they get set up, and that'll be a real milestone for me to bring them on board. And again, congratulations, Stephen. I truly appreciate it. I was trying to contact you because you were saying to contact you, but I didn't know how. I did not have a way to contact you. Now, Stephen, if you want to contact me, you can easily do so on the if you go to Myfree.energy, at the bottom of the homepage, I have my links to contact me. Okay, so any of you folks, if you want to contact me, please do so. I have WhatsApp there, also Telegram. So whichever one of the two is more convenient for you, I'd be happy with either one. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off now. So thank you very much, everybody. Let's just go over the. I'll have to answer this later. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly take this. Sorry about that. Hi.
Hi, get a little quick.
Oh, were you on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Sometimes those things happen. I'm just about to sign off now.
Okay.
I'm just about to sign off now, and then I'll. You can stay on if you want. I'll just finish up here.
Okay.
All right. So Romeo, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it very much. Marjorie, thank you for moderating. And so Diana Gordon, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's awesome to have you. And Lucy Brown, I watched your videos on YouTube. I actually finally found you on your channel and subscribed, so I'll be getting your notices. That's awesome. I was really inspired by your videos, by the way. Yes. Stephen Cuffey, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I truly appreciate it. And again, congratulations. It warms my heart that you get to do that. That sounds so great. No, I was just about to say I'm almost jealous, but no, I'm not jealous. I'm not at all jealous. I am so happy for you. I hope I get to go too soon, one of these times, on a mission like that. That would be great. Okay, so thank you very much. Also, for those of you who are watching, Pete and Nancy, I heard you're on. That's awesome. I truly appreciate it. Jake had been on, but it cut out for him, so I apologize for that. Well, I don't think I did anything to do that, but anyway. So again, thank you so much, everybody. I love you guys. TBC is really, really the way to go. TBC rocks. It just does. And let's build that new economy and strong local economies, folks. That is what we are going to do. We're building strong local economies where people can again have time to get together, have time to have fun, don't have to always be in a rat race to barely get by, but have plenty and have things, create things locally, not all of this poison food hauled in from everywhere, but food that is being prepared locally by, you know, by local professionals and stuff like that. And my goodness, have time for traveling and just simply having fun once, you know, those kind of things. Life was truly meant to be a life of joy and, you know, peace. We are meant to enjoy life. That's really the bottom line. It was never meant to be what we were taught. All right. So with that said, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me. And you have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is where you are. Thanks.